As per the covenant that we made with the Most High, for our fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and confirm with us, descendants of Jacob, 12 sons of Jacob, Shamash Davasha.
The real descendants, not the fake ones that claim that they're the real ones, the real ones.
That's right, brother. That's
not the one that in Tamarack and Lardy Hill sitting over there, walking with a black jacket, white hair. You know what I'm saying? Us. God called them the son of God, Satan, right?
That's right.
Because all they care about is wickedness.
That's right. Okay. See, a new brother. You can see a new brother for the first time. You know what I mean? You got a little zeal in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know?
I'm tired of the deception. We got kids learning it. It's not fair for them. The kids not here for that. They here to take over what we need for them, right?
Right. And thank God. Gotta be taught the true lineage. Come back to you know. Yeah. Give me first get what was that? Colossians 3:17. And then get also Romans 17:4.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the other one, Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by him.
Right, whatever you do, whatever you say, whether the action come out of your mouth or the action you take, make sure you say in accordance with the scriptures, in accordance with the commandments of the Most High. Whatever the actions you do, make sure you do it in accordance with the commandments of the Most High, the Mashiach Yahushua. Understand? Make sure we be consistent, the things we say and the action that we take, what we do.
Right.
Come. They gave me Roman, yeah.
What do you want me to get to?
We're discussing from our lineage. That's Jeremiah. I give that.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage.
Right, that's what's going on right now. A lot of people walking around calling themselves by these fake names. African Americans, Asians, Jamaicans, West Indians. You know what I'm saying? Puerto Ricans, you know what I mean? Barbadians, Trinidadians, you know what I'm saying? Dominicans, all those are fake names that was given to us by our slave masters and to hide the fact from us who we really are.
Even the country Africa was not the original name.
All right, that's exactly that. That land was named the land of Ham because the land was inhabited by descendants of Ham. You understand? Even though we were there, Shem, because to hide from the Romans, we could have blended that with the Hamites to escape persecution from the Romans, but that land was mostly inhabited by the Ham.
You're right, so you know why? Because my ancestors, my last name is Cassius, which is part of the Roman. So some of us came over there. So what you're saying is true. That's fact.
Okay. You're in the right place.
The problem was I was in the wrong place so many times, and they know that I was, so they were just draining me. And when they were draining me, they was making me evil.
Okay. No, for a fact that you're in the right place because this is this is your lineage. Understand? See, what brought you to the truth? Let me ask you. What made you realize that you are right? I'm asking you. I don't want to impose on you.
You talking about today or
no? Whenever you came to realization that you're a Hebrew Israelite.
Oh, when you have a curiosity, you have angels or devil will assist you to execute that curiosity, right? But also curiosity for the truth. And God knows in my heart, because I have spiritual abilities and gifts that I didn't know I had, which is like more like prophet, spiritual. You know what I'm saying? But when I was staying with my relatives, because they evil, right? That was like a training camp for me to know what evil is. You know, you see how it sounds, sir? You see how it sounds?
Mm.
It sound like this since I was a kid because God said come to him like a childlike faith, you know? Don't come to him like you know, like Lucifer, thinking that he's all that he's better than God. He got cast out to the pride. It's a deadly sin. Pride would make you lose everything, even your first estate to the next estate, which is nothing, right?
Right.
So now this is how I realized my uncle's wife is a Christian Seventh-day Adventist. She's an antichrist. Cause I watch her pray. I watch her so-called.
Okay, all right, okay. I know we gotta go to all other things.
Okay, you wanna make it shorter? Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right because you know what I'm saying. We didn't. We're gonna get to one of the things before we come to none of the truth.
Your question, the scripture. When I was reading it, the Holy Spirit was there with me. They know that they put me here to be part of the God's will, so they want to make sure I get the truth and I get that by reading the Word.
Okay, yeah. Keep coming, brother. Keep coming, and you know what I mean. And the more you keep coming, so in the scriptures, you will, you know what I mean. All the spirits that were attacking you previously, you know what I'm saying, you see them fleeing from you. You know what I'm saying? Okay. What are you asking for? Jeremiah? Go ahead.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, should discontinue from the heritage that I have given thee.
Right. And thou, even thyself, Israel, which we are, shall discontinue from the heritage that the Most High gave us. So there was a prophecy the Most High gave to Jeremiah pertaining to us Hebrew Israelites. Understand? Through generations that we would have been discontinued from the heritage that the Most High gave us, which is our true identity, Hebrew Israelites. We got discontinued from it, and in the process of time over generations, we became known as took on different identities to this point where we call by these proverbs and bywords and all that. I understand, but we're being called back now to our true heritage. We're being called back now. Our eyes have been opened up now. We come to the realization who we really are. Understand?
But you know what's the crazy thing? It said only 144,000 were able to have that opportunity. So what
No, it's in,
what about the rest?
no.
The
See, I'm saying that a lot of things you heard. I mean, the part you heard. I mean, you heard bits and pieces of information, which it's all right. Because when it's coming to not of the truth, certain things that are I mean, you got bits and pieces of the information. You know, I mean, you haven't got the whole thing. Only the 44,000 is only the governing body of Israel. Understand? It's going to be the most. Get Hosea 1 and 10. The most I said we're going to be the sand of the sea. Can you count the sands in the seashore? We can't count it. That's how numerous we're going to be. We're not going to just be the 144,000. That's just the government, the ruling body, because every country has to have a government.
Yeah.
To have a structure, an administrative structure, a governing a structure.
So is that the government that is titled to each tribe?
Well, the only 44,000 consists of 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes. 12,000 tribes. What do you get on the 44? 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes.
And one of them, and each one is the government, right?
I know. It's good that you're in the right place. You have a lot of questions, but all the questions are not going to be answered in 5 minutes. Understand? Understand? So sometimes you do that. Just be patient. Understand? You know, I know it's a good thing. Hey, we never heard so many lies over a long period of times. You know what I mean? And you just come to the truth right now. You want clarification on all other things, but it's not going to happen overnight. So we're going to give you bits and pieces of information. You know what I mean? You're not going to get all the answers in one day. I've been doing this since like 93. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that's not what. You do the math of that.
So when I tell you that's how big and powerful God is, it takes so long
we gotta endure. It's not like the Christians say you learn something you're
I
saying.
want it now. 5 minutes.
The Most High said that
I
either.
want a 5-minute miracle.
Hold on, brother. What do you got? Record.
I got time.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, verse 2. As newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby.
Right, as newborn babe desire the sincere milk. Understand? So, like you said, like you said earlier about the children, as newborn babes, they're humble. I mean, they're willing to listen and learn something. Saying you just coming to the knowledge of the truth. That's a good thing. I mean, just patiently seek this knowledge. And the Most High will give us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to share it with you. And you will grow, you will mature in this truth, and you will see, like a transformation of yourself from the person that you used to be, which was a person of, who was misinformed, coming into the truth. Understand? Learning that what's right, what's accurate, the true identity and all that. That's what's gonna happen to you. Right?
As newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. If so be ye have tasted that the Most High is gracious.
Right. When you desire the sincere milk of the truth, you're gonna grow by it. Just like a baby, young babe it can't eat solid food. So you desire milk. Understand? So take your time, be patient with this. I know you want to learn everything in one hour. It's not gonna happen like that. Understand? You're gonna just absorb the milk, and then you start eating a little, with the mashed potato. You know what I'm saying? Then you start eating a little bit solid food, which all those are representative of a higher level of learning. You know what I'm saying? And then you grow in this, and you mature this truth, the knowledge of this truth. Go ahead.
Oh, after whenever he's done Ecclesiastes 9:11.
You got it? Ecclesiastes 9:11.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 11. I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor to the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them all.
Right. This race here is not for the young. Not for the swift, man. Not for those who are in a hurry, but for those who exercise patience. And just like saying, the scripture says, Matthew 24:13, you see? Those who endure to the end, the same shall be saved. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that come into this of the zeal, just going home about the truth. You know what I mean? And later on, hey, make sure you learn this thing step by step, and then you grow with this. Be patient with this. But you made the biggest step in acknowledging that you're the Hebrew Israelites and Levi. Now I'm saying that's who you are, and your old duty. Also get me Deuteronomy 10 and 12. Go on. You got it?
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
And now, Israel, what doeth the Most High thy power require of thee?
Right. Let me ask you, brother. What's your name, brother? Yeah. Cassius. What does the Most High desire of you? What does the Most High desire of you?
To fulfill his will.
What's that? What's his will?
Wherever I go through daily with faith and being.
Okay, let's just tell you what the Most High desire of you. Read 24. Go ahead. 10 and 12. Deuteronomy.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 12. And now, Israel, what doeth the Most High thy power require of thee?
What does the Most High your power require of you? What does the Most High want you to do? Read.
But to fear the Most High thy power.
But the fear of the Most High power. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. Understand? That's how you know you become a wise. When the fear of the Most High, when you know, hey, you said, man, we're gonna not destroy your body, but destroy your whole soul. Your livelihood, your life, literally, is in the palm of his hands. He has all the decision-making power to decide your fate. What's going to happen to you in the future? That's what you got to fear. Read.
To walk in all his ways and to love him.
To walk in all his ways. What does that mean? Walk in all his ways. Walk according to how he wants you to walk. To follow his laws, statutes, and commandments, and to love him. Only love the Most High. Give me John 14:15. And once again, what love is. Only walk in the Most High's ways.
The book of St. John, chapter 14, verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments.
So if you love the Most High, if you love the Mashiach Yahushua, what are you going to do? Keep his commandments. That's love right there. A lot of people talk about, oh, well, I love the Lord. I love God.
But they break all the commandments.
And break all the commandments. So you love the Most High.
And they're prideful too.
Yeah, and prideful. Yeah, and prideful too. So the Most High letting you know right there how to show that you love him. To keep his commandments. Understand? Yeah, exactly. Now get what love is.
The book of 2 John, verse 7. My bad. 2 John chapter 1, verse 6. And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment that, as ye have heard from the beginning, ye should walk in it.
And this is love. What's love? That you walk up to the Most High's commandments. And this is the commandment that ye have heard of from the beginning. So it's not a new thing. So we're going to teach our people in the streets. We're going to teach our people coming here today about love, to keep the Most High's commandments. It's not new. This is the same commandments that you heard from the very beginning. Because just like in the days of Noah, when the Most High said, hey, you know what? I'm going to destroy this earth. I'm going to destroy the inhabitants of this earth. I'm going to say Noah and his family, 8 people. And the Most High commanded Noah to bring in clean and unclean animals. That's an example that you know. How did Noah know which was clean or unclean? Because the laws was from the very beginning. Understand? The law ain't nothing new. The commandments ain't nothing new. It was there from the very beginning. How did he know which was clean or which was unclean? How did the Most High say, okay, judge us that okay, some of them are the wicked or some are righteous? Because the laws were there, but they were keeping it. Understand? That's why the Most High said, you know what? This is a perverse and wicked generation of people. I'm going to get rid of them.
Thank God he did, because if he didn't, the work was in.
Yeah, understand? So that's how we know. Go ahead.
I wanted to know the precept for how they knew Adam had laws too, because as you got tell me that Israel they chose to get laws. This guy told me they chose to get laws, and that it was only because the Most High was trying to show them that they couldn't follow him. So when they actually, because he said that we will do anything that you ask, basically. The Most High gave him was laws, and and when he found out we couldn't follow it, that's why we're in the righteousness and the grace. So I was trying to show him that we had laws during the days of Adam too, because they committed sin.
Right.
And if they would have never committed sin, then sin is a transgression of the law.
Right.
That's why they end up, So I just wanted to know.
Right, because the Mosai told Noah, he said, he was in the garden now. When the Mosai, you're not getting Genesis? Get from Genesis. Yeah. No, with Adam. When the Mosai said, you can eat of this tree, but this tree you cannot eat of. Understand that? He was basically saying, you can certain things you can do. When they say that this tree you cannot eat of, is talking about like we cannot follow the ways. Because give me Genesis chapter 5. Adam. Go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 16. And the Most High commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat.
Mm-hmm.
But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die.
Right. So he wasn't talking about just the actual fruit. I understand he's talking about when the Most High created a man and a woman. Get also Genesis chapter 5. Let's get when the Most High created 126. The Most High created people. When the Most High created people, he created basically different lineage of people. Understand?
You're talking about the day of the 6th day?
No. Basically, he created different lineage of people. Understand? And when he created Adam, the lineage of people that Adam came from was a different people, a different lineage of people from the other people. And they were the ones, the Most High always had a particular people that he chose. From the very beginning, that's what it was. A particular people that he chose, that he gave his laws, statutes, and commandments to. It would be a light unto the people around him, which Adam was, and the Adamites were. Understand? What did that? Okay.
The book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 26. And the Most High said, and the powers said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So the powers created man in his own image, and the image of the Most High created he him. Male and female created he them.
Right, male and female created he them. Understand? So the Most High created people in general, male and female. Understand? It wasn't just Adam and Eve. It was people in abundance. Understand? So even the scriptures where the Most High put a deep sleep upon Adam and took a rib out of him to make Eve. That's all what they call metaphorically. I understand? It was literal. Because Most High already created men and women. It was basically saying that the Most High took a woman from Adam's lineage of people. Understand? To make her his wife. He wasn't saying that he took a literally. The Most High created man and woman right there. So he was when you say that he for a man, for a woman from somebody's rib, and that's why it depends. Growing up in Israel, it's coming to you refer to your woman or your wife as that's a rib right there. I don't know if you ever heard the terminology, but that's what we said back in the days. But brother used to refer to the wife, that's a rib. You know what I'm saying?
That she came out of him.
Yeah, and that's literally that's his wife.
Yeah.
I mean, she came from that's his wife.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Is that he didn't right there when it says that it doesn't mean that she came out of his she was literally made. He simply made that the Most High didn't make Adam be aware of what he was doing, but he put the spirit upon the woman to gravitate towards Adam. Understand? Right, exactly. But he didn't mean that she was literally made from his actual rib that came from Adam's body. You know what I'm saying? He simply mean that he came from the same lineage of people that Adam came from. Let me see.
So, Eve was created the same way as Adam was out of the dirt, and that's the rib.
You see, you read it right here in verse 27. So the Most High created man in his own image. In the image of the Most High created he him. Male and female created he them. So the Most High created man and woman at the same time.
Okay, yeah, that's what something like.
Men and women were created at the same time.
But
Otherwise, what you do? But you think the Most High don't want to create a man at one time, or get a whole bunch of men to run around? What would that be? Homosexuality? What would that be? Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah, well, the Most High created a man and woman at the same time. Of course, they were attracted to each other. I mean, men were attracted to women were attracted to men, because that's what the Most High created from the very beginning. Understand? So you want to go about but the Most High wanted a particular woman up to the same mindset. You know what I mean? So you could say soulmate, so to speak. That's what we refer to it in this day, soulmate. So Eve was supposed to be Adam's soulmate. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. So she gravitated to him. Yeah, go ahead.
what about Adam's original first wife before Eve? What's up with her?
I don't know where you read that.
So that's false?
That's false. I know that's not in the scripture. I don't know what book you read that in.
You never heard of Lilith?
What's that?
Lilith, his first wife.
Yeah, but I don't know where you read. Go ahead.
I have a question. The first people, like the first group of people that were made, who disregarded Adam and Eve, what nation of people would they be considered?
Well, they were given a name. There's no name. They were given a name. Okay, Genesis chapter 5. The only nation, the only people that was given a name, understand, were Adam, the Adamites. We could refer to them as Adamites. Genesis chapter 5. But the other nation of people, there's no mention that there's no classification of them as this name or I'm saying they weren't classified as such. Only Adam was because they was Adamites. The lineage of Adam was, or the group of people that Adam was associated with or identified with. I mean, was given a particular name.
So basically, Edomites and
No, because Edom, remember, Edom is from Esau.
yeah, exactly.
Which is the same as when Jacob was born. That was generations later on, way later on. Understand? Remember, you know what I'm saying? He came from Abraham. Understand? Abraham didn't have Abraham was we were in Egypt over 430 years. Understand? And you have Abraham, you had Isaac, Jacob, and Jacob and his children, 70 souls were in Egypt. Of course, they died, and Jacob I'm talking about the children of Jacob, of course. As a nation, we were in Egypt for 430 years. Of course, Jacob died long before that. But 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 we wasn't a nation of people until years, generations later. You get Genesis chapter 5.
The book of Genesis, chapter 5, verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam.
So now this is the book of the generation of Adam. So the Moses is focusing now on a particular people, a particular lineage of people. Understand? This is the book of the generation of Adam. So he's focusing upon the lineage or nationality, so to speak, of a particular man, Adam. Read.
In the day that the Most High created man.
In the day that the Most High created man. He says man right there, but he's talking about mankind. Talking about all man and woman in general. Understand? So the Most High is going to focus on one particular lineage of people, of all the people that were created when the Most High created mankind. I hope you are following that. Understand? His focus is narrowing it down now to a lineage of people. He created mankind in general, but he's gonna focus on a particular lineage of people, separate from the other people. Understand? Read.
Male and female created he them.
Male and the female created he them. So the Most High created male and female at the same time. He didn't create man that created Adam, and then later on cut the rib literally other Adam's side to create Eve. That's all metaphorically. You know what I'm saying? That was, you know what I'm saying? So the Most High didn't create a body out of no. The rib of somebody's junk. I mean, sorry. That's just metaphorically mean now you came from the same lineage of people. Read. Go.
And blessed them and called their name Adam.
And blessed them. What does that mean? That means plural.
Con.
And called their name. What does their mean? Also plural. You call their name Adam. Understand? So it wasn't just a man Adam who was known as Adam. The lineage of people that the man Adam came from was also known as Adam. So we could say that Adamites.
Son of Adam and daughter of Adam, or just Adamites?
Adamites. The people that are the lineage of people that Adam was associated with were Adamites. Known as Adamites. He called their name Adam. So it wasn't just Adam who was known as Adam. The lineage of people that Adam came. Eve was also an Adamite. Understand? Not just Adam. He called their name Adam. Read.
In the day when they were created.
In the day that they, not just he, but they were created. The male and the females were created. He called their name Adam. So Moses is focusing on right now on a particular lineage of people. And this is a lineage of people that the Moses gave his laws, statutes, and commandments to. So the Moses was always selective from the very beginning as to who he gave his word to. People may want to say, why is that? That's the way it was. The Most High created all nations on this earth, but he only gave the Bible to Israel.
That's right.
He only gave the Bible to Israel. Why? Hey, that's what he wanted to do.
Con.
But the laws were, it was known to all people though. They don't know all people, but one particular group of people or nation of people was required to observe it and to teach it. Adamites and going down to the Israelites. Read.
And Adam lived 130 years.
Right. So that's it right there. Huh? That's what the Most High gave his laws, statutes, commandments to the Adamites. Any question about it? Okay, you're good. Okay, you're good. What was the other question that he had? Okay, let me Okay, let me.
Ready to get into it?
Huh?
Ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it now. Get me what I'm get me Deuteronomy 7, chapter 7. Because we spent 7 weeks up to me. What you say in Egypt for 430 years. The Most High brought us out of the captivity and brought us into, was about to bring us into the homeland. And the Most High gave us certain commandments to follow, certain, instructions to follow. Deuteronomy 7:1. What did it tell us?
Start from verse 1.
Yeah.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 1. When the Most High thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
Right. So the Most High making a list of these different nations that was in the land that it was given to us. The Hittites, the Girgashites, the Perizzites, the Canaanites. 7 nations greater and mightier than we were. Because we were the last nation. We were the last nation of people. We became, remember, when we went into Egypt, understand, for the 400 years, all these nations that we've been listed here and other nations, they were already in the homeland. They were already established as nations. We were the last nation to be created. Understand? We were the last nation of people to be created. So obviously, they were mightier than we were. In many sense that they had their homeland. They had an organization and a government. They had a structure and all that. We didn't have nothing. We were in captivity. You were a stranger in a land that was not ours. Just like the Most High told Abraham. Read.
And when the Most High thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them.
Right. And the Most High said what? When they deliver them into our hand, we should smite them and utterly destroy them and make no covenant with them, no agreement with them. That's what the instruction, order, commandment of the Most High gave us concerning these nations that was in the land that the Most High had promised to be given to our people. Read.
Verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Neither should you have marriages with them. Don't give your son to their daughter, but give the daughters to your sons. Read.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other powers. So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you.
Right. So the Most High said, don't make marriages with them. Because we all know the scriptures when there's a marriage, 2 spirits become one. Understand? And one spirit can be easily influenced. When a righteous spirit is influenced by a negative spirit, man, what does that mean? You start full of negativity. You start gravitating toward the negativity, what's wicked. Like following the gods of the other nations, and the Most High they don't do it. You don't want it. Read.
and the Most High anger be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly.
Right. So if we had done that, the Most High anger would have been this. Of course, we did that. Of course, we did that. You know what I mean? In retrospect, we say, yeah, we did that. So okay. So we came into Egypt. When the Most High delivered this land to us, that was in 1450. We came into Egypt in 1450. Understand? We were in the wilderness for 40 years, which means that we started trying to set up in the land of Israel in 1410. In 1410. Get Joshua chapter 5. In 1410. And when we came out of Egypt in 1410, when we started approaching the homeland in 1410, we were in Mount Sinai for a year, specifically. And we were in the wilderness, of course, generally in the wilderness, going around the more side, sorting out, so to speak, our disobedience. Because of our disobedience, the Most High got us wandering around and around, going around in circles. Because the mindset we were in wasn't right. We weren't ready to go to the land because the land was occupied by people who were wicked, who were doing all kinds of abominable things. And for the Most High to replace those people doing abominable things with people who were doing abominable things to the Most High, that doesn't make no sense. I can't replace wickedness with wickedness. So the Most High is going around the circus in the wilderness for 40 years till they said, you know what? You're so stiff-necked, hard-headed, rebellious. I can't bring you to this homeland. I'm going to bring your children in, except for Joshua and Caleb. Go ahead, read it. Go ahead. Joshua 5. Joshua chapter 5.
The book of Joshua, chapter 5, verse 1. And it came to pass, when all the kings of the Amorites, which were on the side of Jordan westward, and all the kings of the Canaanites, which were by the sea, heard that the Most High had dried up the waters of Jordan from before the children of Israel.
Right, see now, after Moses died, Joshua, so to speak, got the baton, meaning what? He took over where Moses left off. It was now his responsibility to bring the children of Israel into the promised land. Understand? Because the Moses said, well, you know, Moses, you're not going to go to the promised land because you didn't, you disobeyed me at the waters of Meribah. Just like his brother Aaron did. And the Moses held him accountable for that. So the Moses said, well, pass it back now, so to speak, to Joshua. It's going to be his responsibility to do that. So that's where we are right now. So, of course, we were on the east of the River Jordan. The Most High dried the River Jordan so we could pass from the east side of the river to the west side where most of the land was. Read.
And all the kings of the Canaanites, which were by the sea, heard that the Most High dried up the waters of Jordan before the children of Israel, until we were passed over, that their heart melted, neither was their spirit in them anymore.
See that? They heard all the Most High throughout the Red Sea, so we can escape from Egypt. They heard about that. I know but that seems so far-fetched, so far away from them. But now they're hearing how the Most High dried the River Jordan, which is right next door to them. I said, damn. Damn. It's right. It's in my backyard. No, they're trembling. They're trembling on. Damn, no, the same people, and they also heard of Israel, fought against these different nations, Amalek and all, different nations going in, You know the tremblance. And hey, the Most High is with them. These are different people. They got power. Read.
Because of the children of Israel. Verse 2. At that time, the Most High said unto Joshua, make these sharp knives and circumcise again the children of Israel.
Right. So this knows not a later generation of Hebrew Israelites, babies, young boys. So Moses said, get sharp knives to circumcise these young boys who was born in the wilderness. Understand? So as per the covenant that the Most High made with our fathers as Hebrew Israelites. Read.
The second time. And Joshua made him sharp knives and circumcised the children of Israel at the hill of foreskins. And this is the cause why Joshua did circumcise. All the people that came out of Egypt that were males, even all the men of war, died in the wilderness by the way after they came out of Egypt.
See that? Everyone who came into the wilderness of Egypt, the one who came into Egypt with Moses died by the way. And the Most High I determined that, hey, you're so stiff-necked, hard-headed, and rebellious, so disobedient to me, you're not going into the homeland. So the Most High wandering around for 40 years to the point that they died off in the wilderness. So it was a younger generation of people, of Hebrew Israelites now, that the Most High was determined to bring it to the homeland. Read.
Verse 5. Now all the people that came out were circumcised, but all the people that were born in the wilderness by the way as they came forth out of Egypt, them they had not circumcised. For the children of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness, till all the people that were men of war, which came out of Egypt, were consumed, because they obeyed not the voice of the Most High, unto whom the Most High swore that he would not show them the land which the Most High swore unto their fathers.
Right. So let me ask you this. Do y'all know what timeline this was? You have an idea what timeline this was? Remember, right? We went into Egypt, what? 1880 BC. 1880 BC. Probably not going to remember everything at the same time, but at least try to absorb some of this, maybe going forward, you know what I mean? You remember certain things from time to time. 1880. We were in Egypt for 430 years. Meaning what? We came out of Egypt 1850. 1450 BC. Understand? We were wandering around the wilderness for 40 years. So subtract 40 from 1450. What does that give you? 1410. So this is where this was. 1410 BC is when we started to approach the land of Canaan. When this generation that was born in the wilderness, except for Joshua and Caleb, started to approach the homeland. 1410. Read.
That he will give us a land that floweth with milk and honey. Verse 7. And their children, whom he raised up in their stead, them Joshua circumcised. But they were uncircumcised, because they had not circumcised them by the way. And it came to pass, when they had done circumcising all the people, that they abode in their place in the camp, till they were whole. And the Most High said unto Joshua, this day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off you.
See, by this, the Most High said, this day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off of you. What's the reproach of Egypt? The customs.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the ways.
The ways of Egypt, right? The abominable ways of Egypt. The Most High said, with this covenant now, with the circumcision and the covenant, the acknowledgement of this covenant means that, hey, you are no longer identified with the habits of Egypt. Go ahead.
Precept Leviticus 18:3.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna read it like with a microphone.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 3. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do.
See that? The Moses said, after the doings of the land of Egypt, where you dwell, shall ye not do. You dwelt in Egypt for 430 years, and you learned some bad habits. You learned to worship on Sun God Ra. You learned to eat all kind of abominable meats.
They learn how to hate their brother in Egypt too.
You learned to eat your brother. All the wickedness. Moses said, you're not going to do that anymore. You're a new person now. You're a new man. You're going to do according to my commandments from this time forth. Understand? You're going to turn over a new leaf, so to speak. Read. You're going to learn to keep the Sabbath, keep the commandments. Read on.
And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whether I bring you, shall ye not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Ye shall do my judgments and keep my ordinances to walk therein. I am the other one, your power.
Right. So the Moses said, you shall keep my judgments, you know what? When you break the laws, statutes, commandments, then whatever penalties are attributed to that, then hey, so be it. I am the Moses. Read on. Go back to Joshua.
The book of Joshua, chapter 5, verse 9. And the Moses said unto Joshua, this day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off you. Wherefore the name of the place is called Gilgal unto this day. And the children of Israel encamped in Gilgal, and kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month, at even in the plains of Jericho.
Right. So the children of Israel encamped in Gilgal in acknowledgement of the renewment in spirit of casting out the old ways, the Egyptian ways, and becoming and taking a new identity, new way of thinking, new way of acting, according to the commandments of the Most High. And to the point that they keep the commandments, they keep the Passover of the Most High. Read.
Verse 11. And they did eat of the old corn of the land on the morrow after the Passover, unleavened cakes and parched corn in the selfsame day. And the manna ceased on the morrow, after they had eaten of the old corn of the land. Neither had the children of Israel manna any more. But they did eat of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year. And it came to pass when Joshua was by Jericho, that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there stood a man over against him with a sword drawn in his hand. And Joshua went unto him and said unto him, art thou for us, or for our adversaries?
Who was this man? Who do you suppose this man was?
Was it an angel or Yahweh?
Was an angel.
It was an angel.
So Joshua took some encouragement to approach the man. The man had a sword in his hand, you know.
Yeah,
The man had a sword. It was a sword. That's a killing weapon. And you said to this man like that, are you for us? Or what if he was against you? He would have cut your hair off. So Joshua must have had some spirit in him, man. Yeah, read on.
And he said, nay, but has the captain of the host of the outer one, am I now come?
So the Most High sent him as a captain of the host. You know what? Captain of the army. So it was there to advise Joshua, to lead Joshua according to the Most High's will. Understand? To attack this nation that was in the homeland, to drive them out so Israel can occupy the land. Read on.
And Joshua fell on his face to the earth, and did worship, and said unto him, what saith my outer one unto his servant? And the captain of the Most High has said unto Joshua, loose thy shoe from off thy foot, for the place whereon thou standest is holy. And Joshua did so.
Just like the angel that said to Moses, the same thing. Said the same thing to Joshua. Read.
The book of Joshua, chapter 6, verse 1. Now Jericho was straitly shut up because of the children of Israel.
Right, now Jericho, it was straightly shut up. What does that mean? They're scared. They lock all the gates. They had like a self-imposed, what they call it now, curfew. Nobody was in the streets. Nobody was in the playground. Nobody in the shopping mall. Nobody was inside because they heard the children of Israel coming. And they heard of our reputation and what we did to the other nations who we encountered along the way.
It reminds me of what we know as today martial law. Like once the government get a little fear, they don't mind what the people is going through. They just implement this law. Hey, this is what's going on. If they want to say, you know what, we're shutting down Broward County or we're shutting down South Florida. You know, that's what we know as martial law. You know, when the government sees a threat, whether it's dwelling inside their government or outside threat, you know, that's how they respond.
Right, exactly. Right, of course, some people, you know, when they didn't like it, say, hey, purge. You know what I'm saying? I gotta keep my business going. I gotta sell this, I gotta sell that. I said, no, it ain't about that. No, right? That's about security. It's about security for the whole nation. And that's what they did. They shut everything down and then scared of the Israelites. Read.
None went out and none came in. And the Most High said unto Joshua, see, I have given into thy hand Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor. And ye shall compass the city, and all ye men of the war, and go around about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days. And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of rams' horns. And the 7th day shall ye compass the city 7 times. And the priest shall blow with the trumpets. And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city shall fall down flat. And the people shall ascend up, every man straight before him. And Joshua the son of Nun called the priests and said unto them, take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of rams' horns before the ark of the Most High. And he said unto the people, pass on, and compass the city, and let him that is armed pass before the ark of the Most High. And it came to pass, when Joshua had spoken unto the people, that the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns passed before the Most High, and blew with the trumpets of the ark of the covenant of the Most High followed them. And the armed men went before the priests that blew with the trumpets. And the rearward came after the ark, the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, ye shall not shout, nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth. Unto this day I bid you, shout then all ye shout. So the ark of the Most High compassed the city, going about it once, and they came into the camp and lodged in the ark. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Most High. And 7 priests, bearing 7 trumpets of ram's horns, before the ark of the Most High went on continually, and blew with the trumpets. And armed men went before them. But the rearward came after the ark of the Most High, the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And the 2nd day they compassed the city once, and returned into the camp. So they did 6 days. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about dawning of the day, and compassed the city the same manner, 7 times. Only on the day they compassed the city 7 times.
Verse 21.
Verse 21. And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and women, and young and old, and ox and sheep and donkey with the edge of the sword. But Joshua had said unto the 2 men that had spied out the country, Go into the harlot's house and bring out the woman, and all that she had, as he swore unto her.
Right, no, go to chapter 9. See, yeah, so to destroy the people of Jericho, you know what I'm saying? I know they say the heart in the heart of Rahab, because she was the one who saved Joshua and Caleb. You know what I mean? When they were spied out the land, he saved them and misled her own people. Understand? Concerning where the whereabouts. And so and the most I put the spirit in Israel and say, you know what? Spare their lives. You know what I mean? Because of the kindness that they showed to Joshua and Caleb when they were spying on the land. Now jump to verse chapter 9. Chapter 9.
The book of Joshua, chapter 9, verse 1. And it came to pass, when all the kings which were on this side of Jordan, and the hills, and in the valleys, and all the coasts of the great sea, over against Lebanon, the Hittite, and the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Perizzites, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite heard thereof, that they gathered themselves together to fight with Joshua and with Israel with one accord.
Right, so after Joshua destroyed the city of Jericho, the other kings of the land, you know what I mean, came together, formed an alliance, coming together and said, you know what? Damn. Here this guy to Jericho. Yo, we gotta come together and see if we can stop this guy because hey, they're on a mission. They're on a mission to destroy us. So that's what they did. All the different cities come together and say, let's man up, come together and form a great army to protect ourselves. Read on.
Verse 2. That they gathered themselves together to fight with Joshua and with Israel with one accord. And when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done unto Jericho and unto Ai.
No, Gibeon is a different city from those cities that were organized against Jericho. So as we read on, we're going to see who Gibeon was, what the city of Gibeon was. Read.
They did work willingly and went and made as if they had been.
They did work willingly. What does willingly mean?
Voluntarily.
No, willingly.
Willing.
Craft, willingly. Look at the word, read it.
Crafty counsel.
Oh.
Craft because it's slick and sly. Trick and you know what I mean, and clever. Somebody look it up. Look up the word, willingly.
Okay, so could you spell that? Because I don't, or tell me what chapter and verse.
Chapter 9, verse 4. Willingly.
Okay.
Wilily. They did work willingly and went and made as if they had been ambassadors.
It's sly, cunning, crafty, wily, tricky, foxy, artful, slick.
Right. They put a quick one to the speak. It was willingly. So they pretended, read it again, verse 4. The people of Gibeon. The people of Gibeon are different from the people of the other cities that we read about earlier in this chapter. Read verse 4 and on.
The book of Joshua, chapter 9, verse 4. They did work willingly and went and made as if they had been ambassadors, and took old sacks upon their donkeys, and wine bottles, old and rent and bound up, and old shoes and clouded upon their feet, and old garments upon them, and all the bread of the provisions was dry and moldy.
See that? So they're the willing, crafty, clever, slick, cunning. And they put on old clothes, old shoes, old garments, old this. Even the food was moldy, dried up, as if the food was stale, as if they were traveling for a long time, and the food got stale on them. I think the clothes got old on them because they were traveling for a long time with the same clothes that they didn't. On the road, they wasn't able to wash their clothes and all that. That's what they did. Let's see what they did. That read on.
And they went to Joshua unto the camp at Gilgal, and said unto him, and to the men of Israel, we be come from a far country.
That's what I said. We be come from a far country. But when they're from a far country, we're going to see. Read.
Now therefore make ye a league with us.
Now therefore make ye a league with us. What did the Most High say? What was the covenant that the Most High told Joshua to keep? Don't make him covenant with the people of the land of Canaan. Understand? But that didn't pertain to people who were region way outside of Canaan. So these people here have Gibeon, which were nearby, pretended to be from a far country. Understand? They were nearby. So they give the impression that they were from a far country, so we're not a threat to you. So make a league with us. Make a covenant with us. We are.
Now therefore make ye a league with us.
A league is a covenant, read.
And the men of Israel said unto the Hivites, peradventure ye dwell among us. And how shall we make a league with you? And they said unto Joshua, we are thy servants. And Joshua said unto them, who are ye? And from whence come ye? Right. And they said unto him, from a very far country, thy servants are come.
See that? Yeah, lied, man. You lied to Joshua. Yeah. For a far country. Of course, they had an ulterior motive as to why they wanted to make a league with Joshua, because they knew Joshua would get ready to put them to death. So they pretended to be from a far country. Understand? So we make a league with us. So we be your servants. We serve you to spare our lives. Read on.
Because of the name of the Most High thy power. For we have heard the fame of him, and all that he did in Egypt, and all that he did to the two kings of the Amorites that were beyond Jordan, to Sihon, king of Heshbon, and to Og, king of Bashan, which was at Ashtaroth. Wherefore our elders and all the inhabitants of our country spake to us, saying, take victuals with you for the journey, and to go to meet them, and say unto them, we are your servants. Therefore make ye a league with us. This our bread we took hot for our provision, out of our houses on the day we came forth to go unto you. But now, behold, it is dry and it is moldy.
Right. So they said, we took bread with us, food, to come to make them league with you. Well, now it is dry and moldy.
Yeah, they went through a lot to try to prove
Try to say, yeah, we've been traveling for a long time. They're coming from a far country. That our food is so dry and moldy now. That it proves that we're from a far country. But of course, they were lying. Read.
Verse 12. This our bread we took hot for our provision out of our houses on the day we came forth to go unto you. But now, behold, it is dry and it is moldy. And these bottles of wine which were filled were new. And behold, they be rent. And these our garments and our shoes are become old by reason of the very long journey. And the men took of their victuals, and asked not counsel at the mouth of the Most High. And Joshua made peace with them.
See that? The Israelites took out the victuals. They didn't consult the Most High. They took these, trust not the enemy, man. Trust not the enemy. They took the word for it. You know what I mean? Out of what they saw, the old clothes, the stale food, the stale wine, the dried up victuals and all that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They believed them. But they were lying, and they didn't consult the Most High. Because they didn't consult the Most High. What should we do with these people? So just made a league with them. Read on.
And Joshua made peace with them, and made a league with them to let them live. And the princes of the congregation swore unto them. And it came to pass at the end of 3 days after they made a league with them, that they heard that they were their neighbors, and that they dwelt among them.
Uh-oh. 3 years later, they realized, oh, wait a minute, these guys are our neighbors. They're not from the far country. They're right next door to us. They lied to us. I'm like, damn. We made a league with them. We can't go back on our word. Let's see what happened after that.
And the children of Israel journeyed and came unto their cities on the 3rd day. Now the cities were Gibeon, and Shiphrah, and Beeroth, and Kirjath Jearim. And the children of Israel smote them not, because the princes of the congregation had sworn unto them by the Most High power of Israel. And all the congregation murmured against the princes.
Yeah, you know what happened, man? What you mean to deal with these people? They play you, bro. But let the people play you like that, man. I didn't believe that the different part country when they're right next door to us. What, you stupid or something? And I remember that, look at this fool, man. I can't believe they let this guy pull a quick one on them like that. Yeah, they ain't got no sense of what? Man, this guy ain't run the game with you like that, man. What's up with you?
You know, Israel, once we start, it's kind of hard to slow
Yeah,
it
I'm saying. So you're making them out, yeah.
So they couldn't kill them?
They couldn't kill him because you know what I mean, you gave them your word. I'm saying?
So that was their whole...
They tricked us. I'm saying? They were right next door to. We didn't know the people of the region. Because remember we just coming in the wilderness, we were new to the area. We didn't know who is who. Understand? We didn't know who is who. So, and they knew that. So they gave us the impression that they were from a far country. By the way, they presented themselves with the old clothes, the old food, the stale food, and all that. When in fact they were right next door to us. And because of that, because they conned us like that, we made a league with them. And we found a lady like that they liked it, but we couldn't go back on the word. We gave them a word. We're men of the Most High, you know what I'm saying? We're not like the heathens to say, I don't care about that. This guy that was going to smoke him anyway. We couldn't do that. So we have to keep our word. But of course, you know what I mean? Of course, the people said, the princes of our people did that, and what you do that to you? You mean the most you supposed to know? Why you playing like that? What? You didn't know? Man, what are you stupid or what? You know what I'm saying? So that's the only way to come and complaining against the princes. Read on.
Verse 19. But all the princes said unto all the congregation, we have sworn unto them by the Most High power of Israel. Now therefore we may not touch them.
Well, we swore by the name of the Most High. Once in the Most High's name, isn't it? You can't go back in the word. Read on.
This we will do to them. We will even let them live, lest wrath be upon us, because of the oath which we swore unto them. And the princes said unto them, let them live, but let them be hewers of wood and drawers of water unto all the congregation, as the princes had promised them. And Joshua called for them, and he spake unto them, saying, wherefore have ye beguiled us, saying, we are from very far from you, when ye dwell among us. Now therefore ye are cursed, and there shall none of you be freed from being bondmen and hewers of wood and drawers of water for the house of my power. And they answered Joshua and said, because it was certainly told thy servants, how that the Most High thy power commanded his servants, Moses, to give you all the land, and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land from before you. Therefore we were so afraid of our lives because of you, and have done this thing. And now behold, we are thine hand, and as it seemeth good and right unto thee, do unto us. And so did he unto them, and delivered them out of the hand of the children of Israel, that slew them not. And Joshua made them that day hewers of wood and drawers of water for the congregation, and for the altar of the Most High, even unto this day, in the place he should choose.
Right, so Joshua said, why you did that to us? And he explained, because we heard about you, man. We heard about how you was nation before you, and the Most High is with you, and all that. So we were afraid. You can't blame me, man. We want to live. You can't blame us. So I mean, but yeah, we're willing to be your slaves, though. We're willing to be your draw of water and wood. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to do, whatever you want us to do, and what you want us. I mean, we do it. So Joshua said, you know what? Ah, okay, well, that's why you're gonna do that. You know what I mean? It's too, at this point, we can't do anything, so you're just gonna like, serve us and do our bidding. That's what happened to
To
them.
the day they die, he said they'll never be
They
free.
will never be free.
They can't get their freedom. They can't even earn it.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
matter how much wood you go get.
You're gonna be our slaves. I go to chapter 10.
The book of Joshua, chapter 10, verse 1. Now it came to pass, when Adoni-Zedek, king of Jerusalem, had heard how Joshua had taken Ai, and had utterly destroyed it, as he had done to Jericho and her king. So he had done to Ai and her king, and how the inhabitants of Gibeon had made peace with Israel, and were among them.
No, so other nations round about heard of Joshua are destroyed some nations before them, and how these people of Gibeon had made peace with Israel. Read.
That they feared greatly because Gibeon was a great city.
Yeah, Gibeon was a great city, but Gibeon made peace with Israel. Read.
Was a great city as one of the royal cities. And because it was greater than Ai, and all the men thereof were mighty. Wherefore Adoni-Zedek, king of Jerusalem, sent unto Hoham, king of Hebron, and unto Piram, king of Jarmuth, and unto Japhia, king of Lachish, and unto Deber, king of Eglon, saying, Come up unto me, and help me, that we may smite Gibeon.
See that now? Those other nations who hadn't been confronted yet by Joshua and the Israelites. You know what I mean? They were saying, they were trying to form another conglomerate. They were forming another alliance with other nations and say, you know what? Come up to me. Let's get together and let's smite Gibeon. What's Gibeon? Remember who Gibeon is? No, not Gideon. Gibeon. Yeah, you got to follow the story out. Yeah. Gibeon is a city that put a quick one on Israel. Let's see what it's read about. The Gibeon. Gibeon is that city who was nearby to Israel who pretended that it was far off. That's Gibeon. Understand? So no, these other countries want to fight Gibeon because Gibeon made a peace with Israel. Understand? Gibeon made this league with Israel for Israel to spare them. They didn't like the fact that Gibeon made a league with Israel. You know what I'm saying? They wanted Gibeon to say, hey, okay, be with them to fight against Israel. But Gibeon was now down with Israel. Gibeon already bowed down to Israel. I'm saying, I'm going to follow this. So these nations say that. So let us attack Gibeon, man. They're sold out. That's what they say. They're sold out. They're sold out for Israel. They should be down with us, but they decided to sell out to Israel. No, we can't do that. We can't defend that. Justify that. So let's go attack Gibeon. Read on.
Therefore the 5 kings of the Amorites, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, the king of Eglon, gathered themselves together and went up, they and all their hosts, and encamped before Gibeon and made war against it.
See that? So now these different nations were attacking Gibeon because they were saying, Gibeon, you're sold out to Israel, man. You made a league with them. You should have stood your ground and be with us to form an alliance to fight against Israel. But instead, what you went and bowed out to them. So they encamped around Gibeon to fight Gibeon, the city Gibeon. Up here picturing this. All right, read on.
And the men of Gibeon sent unto Joshua to the camp to Gibeon, saying, Slack not thy hand from thy servants.
So Gibeon sent to Joshua, and the men of Gibeon sent unto Joshua to the camp to Gilgal, saying, Slack not thy hand from thy servant. It says, slack not thy hand. What was it?
Like, basically saying, don't have any. Don't hesitate. Don't waste to give us a hand, a help out.
Right, exactly. That's what they're saying. Exactly. Come on, read on. You know,
And the men of Gibeon said unto Joshua to the camp to Gilgal, saying, Slack not thy hand from thy servants. Come up to us quickly and save us and help us. For all the kings of the Amorites that dwell in the mountains are gathered together against us. So Joshua ascended from Gilgal, he and all the people of war with him, and all the mighty men of valor.
so Joshua said, so they appealed to Joshua for help. Say now these nations up in the mountains are coming to fight to kill us. So you gotta come quickly and help us and defend us. So Joshua responded by running up men of valor, war men to say, hey, okay, let's go defend these Gibeonites. Right?
And the Most High said unto Joshua, Fear them not, for I have delivered them into thy hand. There shall not a man of them stand before thee. Joshua therefore came unto them suddenly, and went up from Gilgal all night. And the Most High discomfited them before Israel, and slew them with a great slaughter at Gibeon, and chased them along the way that goeth up to Beth Horon, and smote them to Azekah and Makeda.
Right. So Joshua responded to defend Gibeon and smote those nations who came against Gibeon. All right. That's kind of Most High delivered them into Joshua's hand. Okay. Now let's jump down to chapter 12. Let's speed this up a little bit. Remember the era of time. What era of time this is again?
1440. 1450.
We came out of Egypt in 1450. We were in the wilderness for 40 years. So some 1410, exactly. 1410 BC, exactly.
That's when we entered our homeland.
This is when this is taking place.
That's when
This is the process. This is the process in going into the homeland. This is the process of fighting those nations who are already there or run about to drive them out so we can go in. Understand? Because of course we weren't just gonna walk in like that. Of course they're gonna put up some kind of resistance, which is what they're doing right now. But of course the Most High is with us. It's strengthening us so we can fight against these nations. And this was taking place from 1410. I'm going. I understand? All right. Read chapter 12.
The book of Joshua, chapter 12, verse 1. Now these are the kings of the land which the children of Israel smote, and possessed their land on the other side Jordan toward the rising of the sun, from the river Arnon unto Mount Hermon, and all the plain of the east. Sihon, king of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon, and ruled from Aror, which is upon the bank of the river of Arnon, and from middle of the river, and half Gilead, even unto river Jabbok, which is the border of the children of Ammon. And from the plain of the sea, Shineroth of the east, and unto the sea of the plain, even the south sea of the east, the way of Beth Jeshmoth, and from the south of Ashdod, Pasgah, and the coast of Og, king of Bashan, which was of the remnant of the giants that dwell in Ashtaroth, and at Edrei, and reigned in Mount Hermon, and in Salcah, and in all Bashan, unto the border of the Gershites, and the Maccathites, and half Gilead, and the border of Sihon, king of Heshbon. Them did Moses, the servant of the Most High, and the children of Israel smite. And Moses, the servant of the Most High, gave it for possession unto the Reubenites, and the Gadites, and the half tribe Manasseh. And these are the kings of the country, which Joshua and the children of Israel smote on this side Jordan, on the west, from Baal Gad in the valley of Lebanon, even unto the Mount Halak, that goeth up to Mount Seir, which Joshua gave unto the tribes of Israel for possession according to the division. In the mountains and in the valleys and in the plains and the springs and the wilderness and in the south country, the Hittites, the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, The king of Jericho, 1. The king of Ai, which is beside Bethel.
Right. So it's gonna list. It's gonna list the different kings that we smote. Understand? If you read the rest of the chapter, the different kings that we smote to occupy the land. So all this process took about 7 years. So from 1410, it's about 1403, 1400, 1400. You know what I'm saying? It's about before to get into the actual homeland. So basically, we went to the homeland about 1400. Actually, we went to the homeland about 1400. You know what I'm saying? Now jump to chapter 13. Just wrap it up, chapter 13.
The book of Joshua, chapter 13, verse 1. Now Joshua was old and stricken in years. And the Most High said unto Joshua, Thou art old and stricken in years, and there remaineth yet very much land to be possessed. This is the land that yet remaineth, all the borders of the Philistines, and Geshuri, from Sihor, which is before Egypt, even unto the borders of Ekron, northward, which is counted to the Canaanites 5 lords of the Philistines, and the Gazathites, and the Ashdodites, and the Ashkelonites, and the Gittites, and the Ekronites, and the Evites, from the south, all the land of Canaan of the Canaanites, and Mirah, that is beside the Sidonians, unto Ephek, to the borders of the Amorites, and the land of the Giblites.
Right. So just jump to chapter 14. But no, it said Joshua was strict in age. So basically, went to the homeland close to the 1400s. Joshua died in 1375 BC. So Joshua basically was in the homeland for like 35 years. Understand? Before he died of old age. I understand. So let's go to chapter 14 now. Just to list some of the countries that we took over. Go on. Chapter 14, verse 1.
The book of Joshua, chapter 14, verse 1. And these are the countries which the children of Israel inherited in the land of Canaan, which Eleazar, the priest, and Joshua, the son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel distributed for an inheritance to them. But lot was the inheritance, as the Most High commanded by the hand of Moses, for 9 tribes and for the half tribe. For Moses had given the inheritance of 2 tribes and a half tribe on the other side, Jordan.
Right. So at this point, we're in the homeland now. So those are some of the obstacles that the nation that we fought against from 1410 going into the homeland. So until Joshua was in it for like 35 years, and he died of old age. And at this point now, we're getting ready to be to just start distributing the land to the respective tribes and the families of the respective tribes, based on the size of the different families and all that. So that was the next process. Okay, so this was taking place about 1400 BC. Okay, we left Egypt 1450, wandered around the wilderness for 40 years. From 1410, we started this is campaign to fight against the nations who was in the homeland to depose them of the land so we can go in. And we accomplished that after about 7 years or so. Understand? And then we have to start occupying the land from that point on. So, you know what I mean? And so I guess we continue on next week. Maybe we continue on this again next week to see what happened after we occupy the land. Shalom Yasharala, Yasharala for those in the live stream. What's up?
Let me tell you, dessert.
Okay.
Bayaf Kazak, Bayam.
Okay.
By Hawashine, Yariam,
It's all right. What is it?
and King Prodigy.
Done. Shalom Yasharala, to water for listening. to the opportunity. And as you know, tomorrow we have the Sabbath service, 12 noon Eastern. We'll convene again as per the commandments of the Most High, by Hashem Yahusha. So, and this is Elder Lapala and Brother Armor One, Kan. Shalom, Yashua of the LOZ. Madi Wapanya, Yarashalam, stand up in Jerusalem. What we got? Mashiach Spalal, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kadash, Ayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakotka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Ayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Ka, Bashemayim, Natanlanawa, Bakam, Pal, Yawak, Wasalat Nawa, Yawabat Nawa, Wasalat Nawa, Yawabat Nawa, Wala'a, Tabaya Nawa, Wanasayawan, Amal, Alisha Nawa, Manrai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahatapa Aram, Lahasham, Lamashiach, Yahushai, the water, Aman.
The book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 9. After this manner, therefore pray, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. For if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. By Hashem Mashiach Yahushai, the word of the Yad, Amen.
Your brother?